Okay, so I've been talking for the last 30 minutes or so about this new segment called Pantera Riff of the Week, but I didn't record any of it. So let me start over by saying thank you for all the kind feedbacks and comments I've been getting lately for the other segment that I started. So for this segment I thought it would be a fun idea to start with my absolute favorite Pantera song to play or listen, which is a New Level of Confidence off of the Vulgar Display of Power record, which by the way I've first heard from Official Live, their live album, and I was 11 at the time and it totally blew my mind. I've never experienced anything like that ever since, and so yeah, life-changing experience. So let me show you what this is about. Let's start with the intro, which I never really knew how it went until Nick Hitchbocat told about it, who by the way, Nick has been doing a lot to keep Dimebag's and Pantera's legacy alive, so big shout out for him for doing that. So what he said is that the intro actually has on both sides like a slap delay kind of thing. And that's what gives that lot of information that you kind of can hear, but it's hard to tell. So anyways, the lick with the pick would be just a scratching pretty much on the strings. And the rest comes with the delay. But live, not even Dime used to use this kind of delays. So what he used to do was just more of a consistent scratch. Much more aggressive as well. So this is the intro. Not too much to talk about. It starts off with an open string and just goes up first from 0 to 1 and 2, then repeats from 0 to 3, and then to 4, and from there it jumps to the A string of the power chord on the first fret, and that's the end of it. It doesn't get too tricky here, but once it starts to mute these notes, you would think that since there's a lot of distortion, it's almost impossible to play with the dynamics. But he managed to do that as well, because with the strength of the picking, you can actually play with that kind of dynamic change feel. The first two rounds of the mutings would sound like this. And for the first round, the third round, sorry, he would not only start to play lighter with the pick, but also playing with the angle. So instead of giving this kind of angle with the pick, it's more flat, more parallel with the strings. That also gives a different vibe to it. Even if I'm not picking harder, it sounds different. So I'm gonna start with the parallel picking and then just twist it. You can hear the difference. Food is ready. I'm gonna come back. Okay, so sweet mashed potato is ready. So let me continue with the segment. And I was talking about how to angle the pick and play with the sound and the dynamic feel with that by just changing not the strength of the pick but just the angle. So let me show you. Kind of opens up and it gives the feeling that it's just louder and heavier if you angle it. The whole thing together would sound like this. That's like a really nice way to open it up. It started from a certain point and it ended up somewhere else, like a discussion. This is why you would call music as a language, because you are saying something. You start somewhere and you end up somewhere else. And there's a lot of information in between and there's a story you can tell. So Dime was definitely a big storyteller. And we're just talking about a chromatic riff. But what makes it difficult is to talk like him with the guitar. That makes the big difference there. So, enough about the chromatic riff, let's move on. So let me show you the next riff, the verse riff, which is probably the coolest riff to headbang over and play live ever, at least for me. So, the riff would sound like this. Okay, so you would think that it's just a simple down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. But instead, it starts with the down, 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 up, and then everything goes backwards. So instead of down, 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 up, it changes to up, 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 down, and then goes back to down, up. And that's the pattern. Let me show you real slow. The end of the rounds, it goes up to one octave. And instead of starting with the muted notes, it opens up for one note and then goes back to the palm mutes. And at the end, fourth fret on the E string, second fret on the A, and you just go down a half note. Okay, and at the beginning, you play the fourth instead of the fifth on the E, on the A and the D string. So. And then it starts. Okay, and then over the vocals, it's pretty much the same. It's just half a note higher, so except for the ending, which is the same. It starts with an open E power chord. The end of the rounds there's a muted, like F-ish note on the first fret. But you can also play the open B and E strings, so it just makes it a little wider and bigger. And then the next part. You can always play it a little behind, so just plays with it. And of course there's the wah pedal involved. There's not much of a bending here, so if you would use the index finger, the sound you would get is closer. It's not like, it's more laid back in a way. And of course there's a wow, 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 wow thing he used to do with the wah pedal. Just it's really difficult to play it, like when you sit down. It's easier to play it when you stand up. But that's the trick, pretty much. Just like really fast, you would just step it on and off. I don't know how to explain. Just do it fast. After the solo, he played the verse rhythm, but without playing actual notes. And you can play with that. And at the very end, it's just a... I think it's this one, like in between the second and the third fret. Okay, so thank you very much, and see you next time.